I just wanted to go over the information and directions for your initial draft that's due this week. Wanted to point out that this paper is used to assess your performance on SLOs 4, 7, and 8, which address biological and sociocultural factors and treatments. Under task, you can see the actual SLOs as they're written by the state of Texas. Under task, you can see that you need a minimum of 2 scholarly research articles published within the last 5 years that are not reviews of other researchers' work, or they're not meta-analyses, which means the same, that they're looking at all of the research out there on a specific topic and talking about it. So the articles actually need to discuss a study that the researchers conducted. Again, you need a minimum of 2 scholarly research articles, and you are to use your information from your textbook and from the DSM-5-TR. So at least 2 research articles, the DSM-5-TR in your textbook, are at least 4 sources that you will be using to write a minimum of 3 to 5 pages on your topic that you have chosen, which is the DSM-5-TR disorder. So remember back to the outline. Your paper will follow that outline in order. So you're going to look at the diagnostic criteria for the disorder. So what are the criteria someone has to meet to be diagnosed with that disorder according to what is published in the DSM-5-TR? Biological factors, and biological factors can be genetics, it can be issues with neurotransmitters, hormones, it can be brain structural abnormalities, it can be injuries to the brain or just differences in the brain, anything along that line. Sociocultural factors, you're looking at things where a disorder is more prevalent in a certain group of people. The disorder actually may cause problems for the person in terms of, like for schizophrenia, where it is very common that once someone is diagnosed with schizophrenia, their socioeconomic status lowers, their ability to function lowers. And it can be stigma. It can be anything that's not really biological or a symptom. So things that happen out in the environment, it can be relational. So things along that line. And then treatments. You want to not just list what treatments are being used, but you want to state what the treatments are and what they do. Are they effective? You want to talk about them a little bit, not just list them. And if there are multiple treatments, don't just talk about one. Make sure that you're covering that well and thoroughly. Make sure all your statements are supported with citations. And also, you just completed an annotated bibliography. I want to make sure in your mind that you're making the shift from writing an annotated bibliography to your paper. It is different. The annotated bibliography was to get you started finding your sources in terms of your articles. In your paper, you are not going to summarize the articles. It is not relevant to your topic of your disorder you chose to talk about a specific study, how they did it, what the results were, etc. You're not summarizing the articles. You are going to take information from their results and use that to support the claims you're making in your paper. So for instance, if CBT has been found to be the most effective treatment for depression, and that is what was found in the results of one of your studies that you're reading, then you will state that and then cite that source. So the information you're reporting is coming from your sources and you're citing them, but you are not summarizing how they did their research studies. Make sure that the points in your paper are logically ordered according to the same way you did your outline. A paragraph must have at minimum 3 to 5 sentences. If there is less than 3 sentences, it is not a paragraph. Also, in APA style writing, use the minimum amount of words necessary to state the point or fact that you're trying to make. APA is not a creative style of writing. It is very factual and to the point. Also, be careful of anthropomorphism. I'm seeing that quite a bit. A study cannot find something. A study cannot report something. The researchers who conducted the study can find something or report something. So be careful not to give human characteristics to non-human things. Also, do not write out the full names of the researchers. Do not tell me what organization they're from, what country they're from. All of that information can be found in your citations and references. The purpose of the citations is to allow me to know where the information came from, which source. I can go to your reference list, and then I can go find the article myself to read it. I do not need all of that. You're only pulling facts to report on your topic for your paper. Make sure if you talk about a term or a concept, an item, that it is defined. If it's something a reader who has no idea about your topic wouldn't know what it is, you need to define it. Also, no material at all should be quoted. There should be no quotes in your paper, not even for emphasis. Make sure not to add in opinions or make up examples to put into your paper. You are just reporting facts that you've gathered from your sources. And then, of course, correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Your similarity report has to be 20% or lower. If it's higher than 20%, click on the percentage button or little tag, go into the report, look and see which areas need to be reworded, reword those, and then keep doing it until that score is 20% or below. If it is higher than 20%, I will not grade your paper. Moving forward, that percentage, as you get higher in education, is going to get lower. So you need to start practicing that now. Your paper formatting needs to follow an APA style formatted paper. So margins are 1 inch around all sides of the paper. Your text is left aligned. Every paragraph is indented. And the whole entire document is double spaced. That includes your title page through your document and your reference page. And when we talk about 3 to 5 pages, we are not including the title page or the references. Make sure you're using 12 size New Times Roman font. And you can also see a sample paper. If you go to apa.org, you can see a sample paper. You can see exactly what the title page is supposed to look like and the document and the reference list. You should be very well versed with apastyle.org. For your citations and your reference page, the source for each factual statement needs to be cited. You do not have to cite every sentence. If you start information from a source, cite it, and when you end, I would cite it. If you switch in the middle of a paragraph to another source, make sure you cite the first fact that comes from the new source and then end with it. So basically, you're indicating to the person reading exactly where all the information came from. Avoid using any personal pronouns. You are not writing about your own work. There should be no I's, me's, you's, we's, us, ours, none of that. You're reporting other people's work. Make sure your title and your reference list is references, plural. It's not followed by a colon. And I give you some examples of in-text and narrative or in-text citations. You can also go to apa.org and see a ton of examples. Make sure you are checking your work. If you use an automated reference generator, you cannot count on that they are correct. There is usually always something wrong. So if you copy and paste it and do not know the rules, you will probably have errors. So make sure you understand how a reference is supposed to be constructed and check them. There should be uniformity in terms of your reference page and how it is formatted, and every reference should have the same information and format. And then we talked about the similarity score. So I hope this is helpful. The main thing is to make sure you make that shift from you're not summarizing articles, you're only using facts to support what you're saying in your paper. Remember, you need to get information from your textbook, at least 2 scholarly articles, and the DSM-5 TR. I hope this is helpful. You have a great day.